Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a glute activation video. So I'm going to tell you guys how to activate your glutes. I'm going to give you some tips on activating them, and I'm going to show you some exercises. Now keep in mind, these exercises are not for building muscle. They're literally just to activate your glutes so you can learn how to activate them properly in other movements. And the key to activating your glutes is squeezing your glutes. So with all of these exercises, you're going to be squeezing your glutes as hard as you possibly can, contracting the muscle so that it will grow when you're doing those movements with weights. So I'm going to show you guys all these movements using just my body weight as well as the slingshot hip circle. So this is just a different form of resistance. There's also resistance bands. I'll link this down below along with some resistance bands that a lot of people recommend off of Amazon with different resistance. And just keep in mind that resistance training is used to help strengthen the muscle, and you actually have to lift weight in order to build the muscle. Not to say it's physically impossible, because if you use strong enough resistance, you are getting that similar type of stress being put on that muscle, but it's definitely not recommended to just do resistance training. So any of the exercises that I'm showing you guys can do these with weights as well and actually make them exercises to do in the gym or at home or wherever you may be. But this is really just going to be showing you how to properly activate your glutes. And this is a great warm-up that you can do before doing your squats or your glute workout or your lower body day, whatever it may be. Stretching and warming up is a very important part of working out and exercising. So if you are having a hard time activating your glutes, or your quads always take over, or you just aren't feeling it in your glutes properly, I hope this video can help you guys. And if you want to see my top favorite glute exercises, give this a thumbs up. I will have a card on the screen somewhere if you guys want to check out the glute video that I have up already, which is just telling you how I grew my glutes. So I will be using my hip circle in all the exercises that I show you guys today, and the first one is the wide stance squat. So this is just going to be a very basic squat. I'm sure everyone has done a body weight squat before. Resistance just helps you feel it more in your glutes. So I went ahead and I put this around my quads. You can kind of play around with how high you want it to be. It's also going to depend on the length of your body, how long your legs are. If you're more glute dominant or quad dominant, you may want to have it higher or lower. But the key to doing this is to squeeze your glutes at the very top and push through your heels. Always think glutes with heels. With most movements, if you push through your heels, you'll feel it in your glutes, and if you push through your toes, you'll feel it in your quads. This second movement is going to be glute bridges, which I'm sure you guys have all done before. And all you're going to do with this is you're going to mess with where you want the band to be again. I put it kind of around my calves this time, but you can also put it up by your quads. It really depends on where you feel it best. But squeeze your glutes at the very top and make sure that you don't let your quads take over. And you can also do this with single leg. So single leg, I usually just like to throw the band out of the picture. Makes it a lot easier unless you're using smaller resistance bands, but the hip circle is pretty tight, pretty powerful. So I like to just do it without and just do that body weight. Same exact thing. Make sure you're squeezing the glute that the foot on the ground is with, if you know what I mean. This next movement I also did body weight, and these are the famous glute kickbacks. I think my biggest pet peeve is seeing people doing these and donkey kicks and think that they're growing their glutes when they're not using bands or weights. Just makes me cringe. So just know this is an activation exercise. You cannot do this every day for 40 reps and start building muscle. Maybe, just maybe, 1 out of a million people could get it done, but it's just not going to happen for you. So if you're looking to grow the muscle, go ahead and do glute kickbacks on the cables or use one of those machines. Kick back and squeeze that glute at the very top as hard as you possibly can. The next two movements that I'm going to be talking about are for your abductors and your adductors. Now, when you see those hip adductor and abductor machines, these are not for your hips. Your hips are not a muscle, your hips are a bone. And I think a lot of people get confused with that because they see the machine and they see that it says hips and they assume that you can change your hip size, but you can't. That's just genetics. they're literally bones. You cannot change that. So your abductors are the muscles that run on the outside of your thigh, and they're responsible for lateral rotation and the external movement, aka the abduction. So just think of it as it's separating your legs outwards. So that's going to be abduction, and adduction is going to be bringing your legs together. So it's the complete opposite. I'll have a little diagram or something if you guys are confused about where your abductors are and where your adductors are. They are two different muscle groups. They do two completely different things, but it's all part of the same motion. You open your legs and then one is pushing your legs together. So I went ahead and I used the hip circle again for these exercises. Very, very helpful. You feel it completely. So for the adductors, what I did is I put the hip circle around my thighs, and I went ahead and I walked one way, bringing one foot into the other, and then I walked the other way, bringing the other foot into the other. So it's going to be like you're just doing side to side walks. And for the abductors, I'm sure you guys are aware of this movement because you've probably used the abductor machine before, which I definitely love. But using a resistance band just makes your life easier. You can do it at home, you can do it wherever you want, and it really just helps you learn how to activate not only your abductors and your glutes, but just your entire lower body, because you get used to where everything is and you feel that pull. It's easier if you're sitting on a chair or a couch, just so that you can keep the band controlled and then just bring your legs together and bring your legs apart, just like the machine. So this last movement is my favorite. It's the easiest one, and it burns so much. You can do this with bands or without. Doing it with bands or hip circle will definitely make the burn more apparent, and you'll feel it easier in your glutes and your hamstrings. But all you're gonna do is go ahead and put this wherever it feels comfortable. I put it around my quads, and you're just going to step backwards, kind of keeping your toes pointed outwards with each step, and then step forward. And for all of these exercises, you can do a couple sets, you can just do one set. It really depends on what you're about to do. I just use them all for warm-up, so I usually do 1 or 2 sets of each, and I don't always do all of them. I just do whatever I think I need for whatever I'm about to do. So if I'm doing squats, I'll usually just focus on all of the hip extension ones just to get my hips open and get ready. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. They're all very, very basic. Just remember, squeeze your glutes at the very top. Try and figure out some mental cues that work for you, whether it's like thinking the word glutes in your head, saying the word glutes out loud. It sounds silly, but if you do it while you're doing the motion, it really helps with that mind to muscle connection. And remember, these are just for warming up and using resistance against your muscles, not necessarily for building that muscle. So just go ahead and use these for warm-ups, and then apply that same technique to all of the glute exercises that you guys do. Let me know if this helps. If you guys have any other glute exercises, activation work that you guys love doing, let me know what they are in the comments down below so that I can try them out and everyone else can. Please give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. I will have a top favorite glute exercises video coming to you guys soon if you want to see that, and I'll see you in my next one. I love you. Bye.